Is it possible to beat 99 Nights without the campfire? I've seen lots of people attempt to play the game without the fire, but many of them simply avoid the safe zone at night or expand the map first. I haven't seen anybody make a video about doing it completely, so that's what I'm going to look into today. I'd just like to mention, I'm not actually going to attempt this challenge myself, rather figure it out if it's theoretically possible. Let's start with some rules. Number 1. No fueling the fire. I can't put any logs, coal, bodies, or anything else into the fire. 2. The fire must never be lit unless it's by accident, like a log falling or a cultist falling. And if it does get lit, I'm not allowed to cook any food. Finally, you can use any class and any amount of allies. Now that we've gone over the rules, what's the real challenge? The campfire isn't that important. It's really only useful to hide from the deer. Cultists still spawn, the pellet trader spawns, and you can still use the bench while it's unlit. The hard part is the new Hungry Deer mode. The deer does a large amount of damage on each hit, runs faster, and it's more chaotic in general. This shouldn't be an issue, after all, the event is pretty rare for a while, but this is where it truly sinks in. If the fire is unlit at night, the deer is always hungry. You can only passively heal at a good rate as long as the fire is actually running too. Okay, so how do you actually win? Well, let's look at the 3 requirements to complete this run. Wood, defense, and food. Number 1. Wood. Wood is an interesting aspect. It's quite abundant in the first zone. Once you chop them all down, you hit a dry spell. You need a lot of wood in order to craft the 2 important items. The first, and most important, are farm plots. The other is the old bed. It seems easy, right? You only have 2 items to buy, but it's far worse than that. Once you chop down all the trees, you have to pray that they drop saplings and wait for them to regrow later. Number 2. Defense. Defense is simple in 99 Nights. It's just about defending your base, as the name suggests. You only have to defend from 3 enemy types: melee and crossbow cultists, and the dare itself. In a normal run, you either stock up on ammo and fight them with a rifle, or build walls using wood range storage, but those are both basically impossible in the no fire challenge. At maximum, you'll get 2 metal in the first zone, usually a whopping 0. This means you'll need to find something that doesn't require metal at all. This is where trees come in. You see, in a large portion of rounds, people use trees as walls due to them being cheap and easy to get. This is the only way I could think of to create walls. Once again, it seems impossible. The amount of trees in the spawn area varies, but usually it isn't enough to build a wall. This leaves one option: ditch the campfire and build against the edge so you need less sap. Finally, number 3, food. This is the most straightforward one to figure out. You only have easy access to rabbits and carrots. When you kill the rabbits, you get raw morsel, which does increase your hunger level by a small margin, but it also damages you. Your only other option is carrots, so you need to craft lots of farms and put them in your tiny base. Great, we figured out what we need to actually complete the challenge, but what about strategies? Pulling off this run without a plan is almost impossible. Let's talk about classes. The only class I'd ever recommend is Lumberjack. All of the other classes have a lesser chance of getting a sapling back, and have a less wood yield, meaning the chances of thriving are even lower. In a multiplayer situation, I'd recommend Medic, Ranger, or Assassin, though I doubt anyone would actually have this class. These classes all have their benefits. Medic can heal using the bandages you get upon spawning, Ranger spawns with a gun, and a flashlight, 2 very important items, and then we have the Assassin. Assassin is by far the best class to choose for multiplayer, due to its sheer amount of weaponry. You spawn with many kunai and a katana, so you have decent defenses until you actually get the wall up and running. You need to conserve as many resources as you can. Don't waste a single sapling or piece of wood. Don't buy a map, as you can't even use it portably if the fire is out. Buy farms first so that you can get a large amount of food by day 3. All hands should be on deck. Only the lumberjack will get wood, but other players, if there are any, should farm rabbits for an emergency food supply and rabbit feed. It's their job to stop the cultists. Flashlight batteries and bandages are limited and crucial to your survival, so only use them when you're on the brink of death. I can't forget about the pelt trader. Unless you're lucky enough to have a wolf spawn at night, you only have access to the bunnyfoot trade. This gives you access to a good axe, a good sack, or an old flashlight. All of them have their benefits. The good axe is a powerful tool to use for wood gathering, but the lumberjack already spawns with it, so that it isn't an option. This leaves the sack and the flashlight. Both hold value. The sack can be used early on for easy wood transportation, but the flashlight can be used for emergency survival at night. So, with all of this knowledge, is it doable? Well, no. Even with all of this preparation, it would still take around 5 hours to even finish it, and one slip up can end the entire run. Lightning will still spawn and strike, so you need to try to find its spot with cover too. Eventually, the amount of cultists could become too overwhelming and crash the game, or make them bounce on each other and infiltrate your new base. Lots of mistakes can end your perfect run, whether it be lightning, a surprise deer attack, eating raw food, or just crashing. It's important to acknowledge that even if you do die, you put up a good fight, attempted a challenge nobody else would even think to do, and actually got far, only for it to end out of your control. Don't blame yourself, blame the game. Because once you get to a certain point, the challenge is simply about eating the food and making sure you aren't taking damage, and lightning is just foul play. But there's one key thing. I said doable. While a run like this shouldn't be attempted, it is still technically possible to complete with perfect luck, concentration, and skill. I talked to my friend about it the other day and possibly convinced him to attempt this challenge despite the sheer difficulty. If you ever want to complete this challenge, you need to be prepared to spend 5 hours just watching the screen, making sure you don't get attacked, and constantly eat carrots. You have to be prepared to restart due to one little mistake along the road, and that can be torturous. Please don't go about trying to complete this challenge without actually thinking of the consequences or mental drain that could happen because of it. Consider that a warning. To end it off, I'd like to mention that this is the first video I've made on this channel in a while, so you should subscribe. It'd really help out and motivate me to make more videos like this in the future.